Yorgel Kivana Kudmajo. Start of another day. Trying to position this camera is probably the single greatest challenge of my day. Trying to find a place to put the camera. But anyway, so here I am in Starbucks, and there we go. Maybe I'll just hold the camera today because this isn't going to be a very long video. But start of another day, and here I am in Starbucks. Wait, I'm repeating myself. Remember, there was a period of time where people used to comment that I was always repeating myself or something to that effect, and oh God, I'm having a hard time trying to collect my thoughts this morning. But I slept like a baby. For the most part, I slept like a baby. I found this place to park. Actually, let me step back for a moment. I decided to take the bull by the horns, so to speak. Isn't that how the saying goes? Take the bull by the horns. I decided to take the bull by the horns, and I drove my truck and my camper down to the police station yesterday. Boy, that's good. So I drive my truck and my camper down to the police station yesterday here in Santa Rosa, and I pull right into the parking lot, and I take up all the parking spaces. My camper and my truck combined are over 30 feet. So I just pulled into that parking lot like I own the stinking place. And I walked into the door, and there was this I don't know what she was. She was wearing a police uniform, but I don't think that she was a policewoman. Maybe she was. But anyway, I asked her. I said, "Excuse me, last week I got into town and I called you up, the non-emergency number, and I asked you, is it okay to park my camper on the street?" And you told me that it was. You said that I'm having a hard time with my camera today. But I said, you told me that it was okay to park my camper on the street. Last night, which was 2 nights ago, I said I parked my camper on the street, and one of your officers knocked on my door, interrupting my beauty sleep. And I said, what gives? I said, where can let's make this easy. As far as city property goes, where can I not park my camper overnight? And she said, well, you can park just about anywhere, to be quite honest with you. You just can't park in the same spot for 3 nights in a row. I said, okay, well then why did they knock on my door last night? And she said, well, maybe you were parked in a residential neighborhood, and maybe somebody, maybe some busybody called the police to come have you checked out. And I said, does my camper and truck look like it needs to be checked out? I said, it's a brand new 2019 Dodge Ram Limited with all the bells and whistles. I said, it even has the full sunroof on it. And the camper, I said, look at the teardrop camper. I said, I get compliments on my camper all over the country. Does it look like it needs to be checked out? And she said, well, actually, it looks pretty nice. Looks like you got a really nice setup there. And she said, I wouldn't worry about it. And she said, I'll give you the non-emergency dispatcher's number. So if somebody knocks on your door at night, you can call them and ask them if it's really a policeman knocking on your door. And I thought, okay. So anyway, then she said, you should go down and look at the campground behind the fairgrounds. I said, what campground behind the fairgrounds? And she said, oh, there's an RV park behind the fairgrounds. I thought, all right. So I went down to look at that. And it was basically a gravel parking lot. A gravel parking lot for $40 a night. And I'm thinking to myself, do I risk, in the night and find a nice place on a quiet street under some redwood trees? Or do I sleep in a gravel parking lot? So long story short, I ended up sleeping on the street. And as I pulled in, I called the police non-emergency number. And I said, my name is Thomas Hall. I'm parked at the corner of Montgomery and Creekview Court. I'm driving a big 2019 Dodge Ram Limited with all the bells and whistles and a sunroof all the way across the top and a beautiful trailer. I said, please, if you get a call to check me out tonight, just tell the officer I'm okay. All right? Just tell the officer I'm okay. No need to knock in the middle of the night. And that was that. I ended up sleeping like a baby. But anyway, an interesting observation. A couple interesting observations that I'll make with you is one, I can upload a video. Yesterday I uploaded 2 videos, if you count my morning thoughts. But one was the Luther Burbank Home and Garden tour. Another one was the Church of One Tree. Ripley's Believe It or Not, Church of One Tree. The Church of One Tree and Luther Burbank's Home and Garden tour. But you know what's fascinating to me? Is people are more interested in what the hell's on my mind than watching those videos. Sure as, I was going to say that 4-letter word, but my mom watches my videos. But sure as you know what, this video here that I'm doing, probably by the end of the day, it'll have 200 to 300 views. And the Luther Burbank video and the Church of One Tree, they'll be languishing somewhere. Is that languishing? Is that a 50-cent word? They'll be languishing somewhere around 100, 125 views, something like that. But that's okay, because it takes a while for those videos to get traction. And once those videos get traction, see, my morning thoughts, they come and go. These videos come and go. But those other videos, those are the ones that gain traction over time, and those are the ones that end up making me the money. But anyway, so that's one interesting observation, that people would just have more interest in hearing what the heck is on my mind than something like those other videos that I did. So that's one interesting observation. Another interesting observation is I think I figured out just about how many Skip Smith followers follow me as well. I think it's about 7. There's about 7 of you Skip Smithers. We'll call you skippers. There's about 7 of you skippers out there that follow me and follow Skip. I can almost guarantee it, and I'll tell you why. Because when I do a video, and I rip on Skip Smith, in good fun, mind you, whenever I rip on Skip Smith, it doesn't take long before I usually get about 7 thumbs down. Always. Doesn't matter. I say the littlest thing about Skip Smith, the smallest little thing about Skip Smith, and I get about 7 thumbs down. And yesterday I did a video. You can go check this out. I did a video called Tainted Love. Tainted Love. Go watch that video. Tainted Love. I posted it yesterday. And Tainted Love is a band. that was playing in a nearby shopping center here. And I went to look at it today, and there were 3 thumbs up and 7 thumbs down. I thought that's awfully odd. Was the video maybe the video quality was bad, or the sound was bad, or I don't know. So I went to look at it. Video seemed okay, sound seemed okay. And then I looked at the comment, and the comment said, "Is that Skip Smith at 2:19 in the video?" And I was curious, and I went to look at went to see the video, and at exactly 2:19, 2 minutes 19 seconds, there's this guy, and if he didn't look like Skip Smith, I don't know who the hell did. He looked at 2:19. This guy, he looks just like Skip Smith, maybe a little bit older, maybe a little bit thinner, but he had the whole beard thing on and the glasses, and he was even dancing like Skip Smith. You know, if you've ever seen Skip Smith dance, that's what he looks like when he dances, just like that guy. So, so maybe those Skip Smithers, maybe you skippers out there. That's what I'm going to call you from now on, you skippers. So maybe you skippers saw that video, and you had to come to the defense of your beloved and revered Skip Smith, your leader. But anyway, but that's that was the other thing that's on my mind. And then finally, talking about my mind, you know what blows my mind? What blows my mind is sometimes you go to sleep at night, and you know the old thing, you're counting sheep. And you know there are times that I'll go to sleep and I'll count different things from my lifetime. But sometimes I will a funny thought that came through my head, and I just don't want to share it. But the other night I was counting. I decided to count. I wasn't necessarily counting, but I was just thinking of all the places that I've been in just the last year and a half, 2 years. And when I actually thought about it, it just blew my mind. It blew my mind. You know, I took a trip with Mercedes. I went through, you know, I'll just read off some of these places. The Thousand Islands in New York, Quebec, Ontario, Vancouver, and I could go all through the United States, so I won't even bother going through the United States, but, you know, Krakow, Budapest, Zagreb, Dubrovnik, Split, Ljubljana, Porto, Lisbon, the Algarve, where else? Vienna, Salzburg. No, I don't know. Just on and on and on. And I gotta tell you, you know what? It blows my mind sometimes when I think, you know, like over the last, God, if I even just go over the last 3 years, Maui, Hawaii, you know, 35 of the 50 states in the United States. And it's something, you know, I mean, to have traveled as much as I've traveled over these last few years is really, really something. But one of these days I'll settle down, you know. One of these days, my mom thinks that I travel so much because I'm running from something. I think that's what she thinks. I'm running from something, and I don't know what I'm running from, but it's something. But anyway, one of these days I'll settle down. So we will see. But for right now, it's back to work, and hope everybody out there has a great day. I'm trying to figure out my exit strategy to get back. You know, I have this tendency to start to say goodbye, and then I start babbling on again. But I'm trying to figure out my exit strategy. I know that I'm going to in all likelihood, pull out of here next Friday morning. And come hell or high water, I'm going to see Crater Lake. I think that would be high water. I think Crater Lake is elevated. But come hell or high water, I'm going to see Crater Lake. And the $1 million question is, where do I go from there? Because now it's the third week of July. It'll be the third week of July. And I'm thinking to myself, I may go up to Bend, Oregon, which was once voted the best place to live in America. I may go up to Bend, Oregon. And Bend is the point where I could go one of three ways. I could go northwest up to the Olympia area, Washington, and the lavender farms and all that kind of stuff. I could go northeast, and that would take me up to Coeur d'Alene and Missoula and Glacier National Park and all that kind of stuff. Or I could go down through Idaho, Boise, potatoes. I could go get some really good French fries. You know, I could go down through Idaho and Boise and Pocatello. I had a girlfriend once from Pocatello. Pocatello, Idaho Falls, where I've got a client. You know, Idaho's a nice state, and I haven't spent enough time there, to be quite honest with you. I like Californians in Idaho, because all the Californians are getting out of this state and moving to Idaho. But I could go spend some time in Idaho, and then hightail it over to the Upia Peninsula of Michigan. Go over to the UP of Michigan, and then instead of dropping down through Cleveland, I could just go north into Canada and go explore some of Nova Scotia, you know, Prince Edward Island, and go explore some of those places where I've never been. And maybe that would be a better alternative to going up into British Columbia. But I don't know. Time will tell. We will see. So everybody out there, have a great day, okay? And take good care. Bye bye.